Bill Kelliher from the band Mastodon, and I'm going to show you a rig rundown of all my guitars and stuff that I'm using on the European tour 2014. We'll start it here with this beautiful piece. This is the equivalent of the Bill Kelliher signature model number 2, the Golden Axe as a Les Paul, called the Halcyon. And it comes with pickups that I designed called the Dissonant Aggressors from Lace. Has my little symbol on them right there. And it's got push-pull for the pickups to switch single coil to humbucker. And yeah, it's a great guitar. I love it very much. Came out beautiful. This one is in a drop C tuning for the set. Here we have a 1982 Les Paul Custom wine red with gold hardware. It's got EMG, I forget which EMG pickups they are, but they sound really good. And yeah, this is in the A tuning. Couch straps, best straps on the planet. Let's see. Next we have a 1977 Les Paul Custom white, which is now yellow, which is one of my favorite guitars. This is in the it's in a D standard tuning. For you know, in the set we go through 3 or 4 different tunings in groups of all the songs that are in those tunings. This one has a Lace Nitro Hemi pickup with a plastic cover, which I think sound better than the ones with the metal covers for some reason. Maybe it's just the guitar or the wiring, I'm not sure, but yeah, love this guitar. Couch straps again. This is a 1982 Silverburst Les Paul Custom, and the cool thing about this is it has the flip out tuning pegs. Kind of a neat little feature. The pickup in this is a Mojo Tone PAF clone, which sounds amazing. I'm not sure what this is. I think this might be stock. I don't ever really use the rhythm or the neck pickup very often, if at all. Everything else is pretty stock on this guitar. You can see the nice worn away, you know, that's the real thing. That's not that's from years and years of hard playing. I mean, all these are probably like my top guitars, and they will stay here on this from now here on out. They'll stay here in Europe, and when I come back they'll be here, and I won't have to carry them back and forth and lose it on a plane or whatever. So now we can go over to what I happen to be using over here in Europe. Europe and Scandinavia and in the UK. These live in the UK. These are this is my Marshall JCM 800 reissue. This is a JCM 800 original. I think it's like an 80, I don't know, 83 or an 84. I'm not sure. Both sound really great.
Is it 2203 or 20?
Yeah.
100 watt?
Yeah, both of them are 2203s. I basically run those a little bit dirty. You can see the gain is on about 6. That one's about 6, 6.5. And then I use this Axe FX 2 by Fractal, the Mark II, for let's see. I use, you can see in here, I've got, you know, delay, chorus, drive. The drive is, you can look at it. The drive, it's called Eternal Love. It's got a bunch of different pedals inside, so that's like the, you know, basically a foot switch for a distortion box that runs into the front. This Axe FX only runs in the front, and I just use it like pedals in a effects processor. Over here, I bring this to home. This goes home with me, and I use it back home with some Friedman amps, and it's relatively new to me, but I think for what it does, there's a lot, way more than I really need. I only use a couple effects here and there, but it's reliable, it's compact, it sounds great, it's really easy to use. I'm still learning, but it's, you know, just plug it into your laptop and open it up, and you can basically see a grid of exactly where each pedal goes and move them around, and it's infinite about, you know, all the things it can do. It's, you know, the future. So it's, I was always scared of it. I was like, oh, I'm not sure if I want to use that. I don't know how it's going to sound, or it's going to be too complicated. But, you know, the more I dive into it, I'm like, oh, okay, I understand. And luckily their support team is very helpful, because you can also run this into the effects loops of each, or one or the other. It basically, anything you can think of, any kind of setup, it basically does. And, you know, it has all the amps you can imagine, you know, built in, all the sounds, and they're very close. In the studio I use this a lot, just for some overdub stuff here and there, and that's where I first got introduced to it for the new record, Once More Around the Sun. Doing a lot of demo stuff.
But you runs it through the cabs?
Yeah, right now it's only in front of the amp, so it's basically, just imagine this like a effects unit that you're plug in and then plug out into this, so you're getting the sound of the amps. I'm not using any amp modeling over here. In the States, sometimes I do for a certain clean sounds. I use it. I haven't made the full jump into using it for actual amp distortion sounds yet, but I think in the next couple of years it's going to make all those kind of obsolete for newer players. I mean, obviously I'm an older guy and I love the real looking around these giant
Are you happy
amps.
Or are you sad about that?
I mean, I'm happy, because to me it's just another toy. I already have tons of Marshall and Friedman and Orange heads at home that I can use in the studio and bring around, you know, when I tour. But just having this is just an extra, you know, if you're in a pinch where you're like, oh, I don't have that sound, you're in the studio, it's like, oh, you just spend a few minutes, you can create it. Or, you know, if one of your amps goes down, or you can blend the two sounds, you can do all sorts of stuff. So I'm not fully, you know, all the way there, but I believe in it. I feel like it's really got some potential.
You're on the way.
I'm on my way. I'm like 75% in there. But we're still using real amps. We're not quite at that level yet.
Okay. So your pedal board?
Pedal board. Oh yeah, it's up here. Let's go check that out. All right, so this is the pedal board. This is the MFC 101. This controls the Axe Effects unit. You know, it's basically got my clean channel, my distortion, distortion with distortion with delay, distortion with octaver, and that's a clean tone with a phaser and a little bit of delay for a little more psychedelic kind of clean sound. That's all I really use it for at the moment. But as you can see, you can do many banks, hundreds of banks. I think it's like 305 or something, or 350. You can use different banks and then switch all of these to do different things. It's got a built-in tuner. It's great. And I'm just scratching the surface with it. This right here is Jam Man by Digitech. And this is what I run all the samples with. In between songs, when there's dead space, fire off a sample, stop it here, loop up to the next one, loop down. You know, just ambient sounds and little intros and stuff for songs. Sometimes within songs we have like an instrument that we can't do live, so I record it in here and I have to, like, you know, tap tempoed in. But yeah, it comes in handy. Like when there's dead air or dead space in between songs, we like to keep it interesting with different samples, sounds and things. And you know, we have a couple, there's like one robot sample in there, like a robot vocal thing, or it's really just a talking thing that we use in a song Crack the Sky, which it's just an added layer of, like, it's kind of like a little instrument, you know, it's got the sounds in it, and you just hit it, turn it off when it's ready, but it has to be hit at the exact moment, and Ron, our drummer, has to play along to it, just make sure we have it in time with the rest of the music, you know.
Is that quite a learning process for making that happen?
No, it's pretty easy. I've had this thing for, you know, probably 10 years now, and it's just about making samples. And you know, some songs have certain intros on the record that we did in the studio, and we can't really recreate it live, so you put them in here. Or if there's just little bells and whistles on the record, a little keyboard part or something, you know, It's kind of cheating, but I think it's cool.
It's a good cheating.
Yeah, because I'm actually controlling it. It's not like somebody out there else is doing it. It's like I'm actually playing guitar and hitting these things at the same time.
Yeah, that's enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes a little coordination, but you know, I can do it.
Yeah. And the cabs are.
Okay, we'll start off. We got two orange cabinets in black, which I believe have vintage 30s in them. And then these two Marshall cabinets, I put in Celestion 65 watt creambacks,
Yeah.
which are my speaker of choice at the moment. So these sound really good. But in all honesty, it's really the speaker that's in here that you're hearing front of house, which is, this is an ISO cabinet. Goes this way. So you see there's a 12-inch speaker in here, and you got a couple mics on it. And that's just to isolate the sounds. You're not picking up all the drums and picking up any ambient sounds that are on the stage or anything. So you have a cleaner guitar tone at front of house.
Yeah. Is it custom made or?
No, not this one. There's companies that make it. I think Randall made this one. I mean, we put the speaker in, which this is I believe a 65 watt Celestion creamback as well. But yeah, that just keeps the noise down and gets a nice cleaner tone out there. Yeah.
So this is for like your feedback and.
Well, it's stage, stage volume. I have to have the amps up here. I mean, you can hear it out front, but it's not, the actual tone that's coming out goes from the amps into that speaker, or into this, and then out of this into that speaker. So it's kind of a blend of all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I went out of sharpness here, but
Well, you got blurry?
yeah, it's blurry.
This is how I look. I look blurry some days.
Thank you.